We're here with Kevin Peake, president and co-founder of Next Health. So you guys are doing something very interesting in the health, wellness, and longevity space. We've been talking for a while now. I've used some of Next Health's clinics. It's been amazing. What is Next Health, and how did you guys get started?
Yes, so Next Health, we started the company about 10 years ago at this point. So it's funny when we say, interesting, the longevity space. When we started this, people thought we were absolutely crazy. They were like, what is this concept? These medical centers that I'm going to pay to be a member of, and I come when I'm healthy, but I don't come when I'm sick. How does this make any sense?
Right.
Now, clearly the world has changed a lot over the past decade, and we're now in a very exciting time, but it's been a pretty fascinating journey these past 10 years, getting to this point. But Next Health is health optimization and longevity centers. And we've essentially brought together the best treatments, technologies available in the world in relation to health and wellness, all under one roof to give customers preventative, proactive access to the services. And I really feel that we're creating a new paradigm in healthcare where we give people almost like retail access to wellness, longevity, functional medicine services.
That's amazing. And you mentioned 10 years, so a 10-year journey. What was it like in the early days, in the very beginning? Where did you guys start out? And then how has the growth been in terms of opening centers and clinics around the country and around the world?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in the early days, it honestly started as an experiment more than anything else. So I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I actually dropped out of high school, started my first company when I was 14, built a variety of different businesses in different industries, and kind of polar opposite from my business partner, who is this incredible medical visionary, started an accelerated medical program at 15 and became a doctor at 21. So I dropped out of high school, he went into a medical program, and our lives kind of converged. We became friends long before starting Next Health, and I've always been very passionate about brand building and bringing excitement and greatness into everything that we touch, feel, and experience.
And what I've found, and what we talk about, is that when partnerships come together, it's optimal when there's complementary skill sets. So it's not two doctors, it's not two business people.
Right.
He has medical knowledge, you have business knowledge, and you come together, and 1 + 1 = 3 or 4 or 5.
Right, exactly. So we had a vision to really revolutionize the way people interact with their health and fundamentally redefine what it meant to be healthy. At the time, we were both running separate companies, and we started talking about this idea to bring together the best treatments, technologies available in the world, all under one roof to give customers preventative access to the services. And we decided to self-fund a small location almost as an experiment in West Hollywood. And we opened it right on Sunset Boulevard, and thankfully people were receptive. We got a lot of organic press and PR and momentum behind the brand. And about a year into it, we realized that we had something significant and real and that was making an impact in our small community already at that point. So we decided to go all in and started scaling the business.
So you started to get traction. You tested the idea, West Hollywood. What services did you offer in the early days?
So in the early days, it was biomarker testing, IV therapy, hormone replacement therapy, even some aesthetic services, very light touch on what we do. But we named the business Next Health very intentionally, that we are what's next in health. So the whole vision was to essentially create a platform that would serve as a distribution network to bring in and scale the latest and greatest advancements to really stay on the cutting edge for everything functional medicine, longevity related. So I'll just explain to you if you were to come in today, you've obviously already been in, you've experienced some of the services.
Great.
Hopefully you're feeling better for it. But if you were to come in as a first-time customer, we start by drawing your blood. We measure thousands of biomarkers, genetics, food sensitivities, micronutrients, gut health, I mean, you name it, we test it. We can even run you through our executive physical program where we do full body MRIs, CT scans, cancer screening. The results come in, you meet with our functional medicine team who interprets the results, talks to you about health goals and health concerns, then creates a custom wellness program for you based on all of this information, based on your biology. But the beauty of it is we don't then just give you that wellness plan and say, here you go, fix these 20 items and come back and see us in a year.
Right.
No, really the journey starts there where we become your wellness partner, hopefully indefinitely. and you have instant and convenient access to stem cells, exosomes, therapeutic plasma exchange, ozone therapy, hyperbaric oxygen chambers, IV therapy, and all of the latest and greatest imaginable. And Next Health is an environment that's really equally hospitality forward as it is a medical center.
Yep.
So while we are fully fledged medical centers, doesn't look or feel anything like a doctor's office or hospital. It's more like a Equinox gym meets a Four Seasons, and our customers use Next Health like the gym, but for their internal health. So they're coming in on a regular basis, many of them once, twice a week, and they're not coming because they're sick. They're coming to improve how they feel, their energy, how they look. When they're sick, that's what healthcare is for, the
Right.
traditional healthcare system.
Yep.
But this is to improve vitality and longevity.
And we know the traditional healthcare system is broken. There's a lot of prescriptions. And what attracted me to Next Health is that you guys are everything under one roof, like you said. So, we have our doctors. You go to the doctor, you get a test, and he says, go work out, take some vitamins, do this, lose some weight, get better sleep. But they don't actually have the preventative methods to improve and really invest in your health. And then you have gym services. You go to the gym, you may feel better or worse. Hopefully you're losing weight and you're getting more fit. There's IV clinics, but that's a lot of times just IV. And you guys have really brought everything under one roof. How many clinics do you guys have today? And what does the growth look like over the next 5 years?
Yeah, so we started last year with 5 locations open. Then today we have 13 locations.
Wow.
And we have about 10 in development. So by the end of this year, we will have 25 to 30 locations open. So we'll have gone over a 24-month period from 5 locations to 25 to 30 locations. And we're on track to have about 100 locations open by 2028.
That's incredible growth. That's
Yeah.
really great. And when did you open your second location?
Second location was in 2018, and it's kind of a funny story with that one. We opened this, tiny first location as our proof of concept. We were still figuring this whole business out. Again, we were still running separate companies at the time, and I met a really great guy by the name of David Ruddick, and he's the head of global leasing for Westfield.
Okay.
And he came in, and he was a client, he started using Nextel services regularly. We became friends because I was in there all the time as well. We would talk about business. He's like, listen, I really love what you guys are doing, and I want you to be in Westfield. And at the time, they were building, the Century City Westfield in LA, and they were doing their $1 billion renovation. And for us, it wasn't even a thought that we could be in a place like that, right? We're these little guys in this tiny 1,400 square foot space just figuring this out. And that was like a dream to be somewhere like that. Not that we thought we would be anytime soon. And he was like, I really believe in this, and I want you to be in Westfield. I was like, oh, it's amazing, thank you. I appreciate that, and hopefully one day we will. And he's like, no. He's like, we're redeveloping the Westfield Century City. We're putting $1 billion in. It's going to be the epicenter of LA, and I want you there, and I'm going to make you a deal that you can't refuse.
Wow, amazing.
I was like, okay. And he did. He made us a deal that we couldn't refuse. And we opened our second location in the Westfield in Century City. We raised some money to be able to do, and that was a bit of the catalyst for us to open up our first round. And that really served as a jumping off point because that's where we really defined the brand and we built out the modern version of what Next Health is. The first location, we practically built it ourselves.
Right.
Second location was the true defined Next Health brand, and then we've continued to stack on top of that. Every single location, every single market we open, it gets better, we refine it, we optimize it. That's how we took our second step.
This is a great point and of your journey and how you guys started out, and something that I think not enough people understand. The upfront work and grind and years that it takes. You've been in business for a decade now. Mm-hmm. You had your first location, then you got your break to open up in Westfield. And then as of last year, about 9-10 years in, you had 5 locations. But now you're exploding, 13, and you're gonna have 100 in the next 3 years, next 2 or 3 years. So people, they want results overnight. They think they're going to go from 1 to 100 in 2 years, and they quit early. And we're playing a long game. And the longer I'm in business, the more that I see that it takes years of work to get that break and to compound that growth. And in the beginning, it's slow. But over time, if you stick with it and you do the right things and you're persistent, it really starts to compound over time. How did you guys stay, well, when did you know, did you want to do this full time? So you guys were doing it part-time in the beginning, and then when did you say, you and your partner say, let's do this full time, let's go all in?
I mean, we just had so much success at that first location. We were bursting at the seams. We knew that we had outgrown the space. We needed a bigger space. We had a lot of organic press and PR and celebrities and momentum behind the brand. And there was so much excitement around this in LA because there was never anything like this before.
Right.
And it just became very apparent to us. And my business partner and I, just the way that we operate, we just plow forward, we say yes, we commit to things, we figure out the details later if need be. And it's just something that we're so personally passionate about. And I truly believe that, this is my purpose in life.
Yep.
And I think that this is having a positive impact on the world and on humanity. And there's nothing that's going to stop us bringing this forward. And at this point, this is all happening regardless of Next Health, right? I mean, I feel that we pioneered this industry, and I do feel that we are the leaders in this space. But there'll be many winners in this space. Like, I think that we are where I liken this wellness longevity industry to the gym industry 20, 30 years ago, right? There wasn't a gym and a micro fitness concept on every single corner. Today there is. And I think it'll be the same thing in the world of longevity. This is an entirely new industry that's emerging that will be commonplace.
We met at the Don't Die Summit.
Yeah.
Brian Johnson's, he's a leader in the space, and so a lot of us, health and wellness nerds we're soaking up as much information as we can, meeting other interesting people like yourself. Kevin, I saw in your bio that you have a goal to live to 150. When I was young, and this might be why, we hit it off, and we have shared, kind of interests and values. When I was young, I also had a similar view, and maybe other people are like this, to live a long time. So I've taken care of my health and continue to do that. Do you think we'll be able to live to 150 with advancements in medicine, advancements in longevity, everything? How do you think this evolves? And one, do you think we'll live to, beyond 100, 150 feasible? And then what are some of the best recommendations that you would give to someone to start who's thinking about health and wellness, 2026, the year just started, I really want to take care of myself this year. Two-part question. What would you recommend to them?
Yeah. I mean, 150 is my minimum.
Okay.
Your
minimum. I like that.
I'm going for 200.
Okay, I like it.
And obviously, that's not possible right here and right now. But I do believe that there are some very meaningful breakthroughs in longevity that are going to happen over the next 5, 10, 20 years that are going to enable us to live significantly longer lives than anyone previous.
Elon was just talking about this last week, and he said, aging and death is solvable.
Yes.
Is solvable. We just had
we just haven't solved it yet.
There's a shark swimming in Greenland
Right.
that has been swimming around for 400 years.
Exactly.
So organisms can live beyond what we currently have.
Yeah. And these advancements may happen way sooner too, especially with the advent of AI, because at the end of the day, it's almost a math problem, and we're going to solve that math problem. We now have this massive brain of an AI that can figure everything out.
Living, beyond 150. 150
Right.
is your minimum.
Right.
I like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I like that. I want to be around people who want to live that long,
Right.
who are taking care of themselves. Your daily habits, what you're eating, what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the technology is going to be there. The technology is continuing to advance at a rapid
Right.
pace. These supercomputers,
Yeah.
solving disease, all these other things. So you're seeing it firsthand. You guys are leading in this industry. what are you seeing advancements in technology that are helping people extend their lifespan?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a couple of things. So number one is going to be solving the top causes of death, which those are going to be solved very soon. And then the one, which is accidental death, Elon is working on solving that as well, primarily with self-driving
autonomous cars. It's incredible.
That'll take out a huge chunk of that. So the top 10 causes of death I believe, will largely be resolved. And then it's figuring out how we actually live longer. And there's a lot of incredible advancements that are happening from gene editing technology and stem cells and mitochondrial transplants. And I don't know which of them, and it's probably a combination of a lot of things. I don't know what the solve is going to be, but there's going to be a combination of solves that get us there. And really the key is staying as healthy and optimized as possible to be able to take advantage of those breakthroughs when they happen. And I think we're fortunate enough to be the first generation that's on the line that's going to be able to do it.
Right.
And if we take a step back and think philosophically for a second, you were talking about compound effort of work and long-term thinking and I look at things from a decade perspective, not from a year's perspective. And if we think of the impact of that, and this is why I'm personally so passionate about what we're doing with Next Health, because I do feel that Next Health has created a platform for longevity, and it's inspiring a lot of other things in the world of longevity. But when I look at the life cycle of a human being, right, on average live until they're in their 80s, and some people live to about 100. And I think on average, people have about 30 highly productive years out of that time period, right? So we have, you're a kid, you're in your 20s, you're just figuring things out. 30s is when you start really, I think, finding that direction and making an impact and really committing to what's going to happen in the future. And then you build that foundation. 40s and 50s is where the real impact happens, where people make the majority of their wealth. Then they get into their 60s and they start declining. So you basically have 30s, 40s, 50s for the average human of highly productive, high impact years. And then we decline. Imagine if we could increase that by 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a 25% increase in productive years. Think of what would happen to the world.
Absolutely.
Think if we got another 25% of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
25% of Jay.
Right.
I mean, what could you do with an additional 20 of your most productive years? And let's not get crazy and think of 100% improvement in that. Imagine if we could get 60 years out instead of 30 years.
And it's not out of the question to see this. The Egyptian pharaohs and the kings, they lived to like 25 years old. So over the period of these few hundred years, the life expectancy has really increased and our technology has compounded very fast for these advancements in technology.
Right, and the theory is that we're going to hit longevity escape velocity, where we're going to get to a certain point. We're making these improvements, but then we'll get to a certain point where every year of life, we figure out how to live a year longer.
Right, that's incredible. What, and for the audience, okay, so we live in a world where everyone is chasing success, working hard, long hours, everyone's glued to their phone. And there was a period over the last 20 years, I'd say, where success, wealth was the number one priority. We've now shifted into a wellness, health, longevity focused society. Alcohol drinking has fallen off a cliff. I just read a study that Gen Z drinks 87% less than people, generations ahead of them. So health, if you could have all the money in the world, you could be a billionaire. But if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Steve Jobs, right? He had all the success, all the wealth in the world, and he didn't survive. So this is something.
If he had done some of the stuff that we do at Next Health, could have saved his life. I mean, we have many instances where we're from exactly what he passed from, we're able to detect 20 years before people have symptoms. And at that point, it's you're able to do interventions with very high success rates. But even someone like him wasn't doing it. They found out too late. And with all the billions in the world, you can't do anything at that point.
You can't do anything. So stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible. visit Next Health's clinics. What are your most popular services? What do you use, and what do you recommend to our audience?
Yeah, so I think everyone should start with biomarker testing, right? Otherwise, we're flying blind. You can do any service at Next Health or a lot of places, and things are going to be healthy for you. But we want to be as surgical as possible and as focus on high impact activities. So starting with biomarker testing, we can measure every single thing about your biology to really hone in and figure out where are the areas that we can focus on that are going to have the highest return for you. And then from there, defining a wellness plan. I mean, the things that I do personally are, I think the most powerful treatment available in the world today for longevity is therapeutic plasma exchange followed by stem cells. Because through that process, we're essentially drawing your blood, running it through this machine, which separates out all the plasma, where there's a whole host of toxins and microplastics and malformed proteins and things that can likely lead to chronic disease in the future. We eliminate all of that, and then your body regenerates all of that lost plasma over the next 24 to 48 hours. So it's like an oil change for the body. You get fresh, healthy plasma without the toxic stuff in there. And then you get stem cells. So, but that's like the big kind of high-end longevity stuff. There's all the foundational stuff. And there's the foundational stuff before you even get into Next Health. All the obvious that everyone's been saying forever. But we were talking about fasting before. I think fasting is absolutely phenomenal. And it's definitely one of the key attributors to longevity. And there's studies that show that. But diet, sleep, fasting, exercise, micronutrients, a healthy diet and proper supplementation on the things that you're missing from the diet, and then detoxifying as much as possible, right? We live in this world where we're, constantly accosted by all of these toxins that as humans we weren't built to deal with. So different ways of detoxing for what the body needs. And then IV therapy is phenomenal. That's kind of a really good baseline of wellness to do on a regular basis.
I've done IV therapy at Next Health, and I did therapeutic plasma exchange, TPE. Great experience. I highly recommend coming in. As you said, oil change for your blood. I'm 40. There's some toxins in there, definitely that have accumulated over the years. I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to do stem cells next.
Amazing.
So excited about that. As the president and co-founder of a leading health and wellness company, your daily routine is going to be interesting to our viewers. What time do you wake up? Do you have special habits? Your must-dos, working out? What time do you eat? What supplements are you taking? If you could share that with our audience.
Because
you look great.
Thank you.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 41. So
Okay.
we're practically the same age.
Yeah. And you look young.
Well, coming from you look phenomenal too. If you guys are looking on video. I just try to develop my lifestyle where health is what I do on a regular basis, where it's not something that's a stretch. So I like to just have healthy food in my house and in my kitchen. So I'm not having to make decisions between junk food versus healthy food. I try to microdose health throughout my days. But I typically wake up around 6 a.m., do some morning movement, but a lot of times I'll also just get directly into work. I really enjoy the morning hours of productivity. I feel that my mind is sharpest. I actually used to do a whole long morning routine. I'd spend an hour and I'd cold plunge and I'd red light, cold plunge at the house, and I would red light and I would do the whole thing. And that's all great, and I love it, and I think it's good for a lot of people. But I'm also at the phase of my life where I'm in the zone and I'm grinding and I'm trying to build this business, and this is what's most important to me. And I've figured out that those morning hours are the highest return hours that I have, and I want to devote them into building this business, which I don't feel takes away from my health. I still have plenty of opportunities throughout the day to do everything that I want to do from a health perspective. But I will, eat clean and healthy. I mean, I try not to overeat. I definitely have a pretty heavy meat diet. I consume. And then work out 4 times a week. I'll hit the gym about 3 times. I go pretty heavy with weight, especially now that we're getting into our 40s. Maintaining muscle mass is a critical component to longevity as well. I am on testosterone replacement therapy. That was a huge shift for me in my really mid-30s,
Okay.
I measured my levels and they were very low. My testosterone was down to like 300, even being very physical and working out a lot.
Energetic,
And
active.
but the stress of building a business and everything else and environmental toxins, my levels were low. So I went on our program that we do at Next Health, and it was just immediate life-changing experience where all of a sudden you have the energy, you have the vitality, you feel like you're 22 again, like you can conquer the world, you wake up, I mean, it's unbelievable. And I feel, hormones are part of the aging process. And especially for men, they're very impactful. And as we get into our 30s and into our 40s, hormones start to drop. You can't stop that. You can slow it, but you can't stop it. And it's the body starting to die off because we don't need to procreate anymore. Now we can either accept that and we can start aging and slowing down, or we can use the modern advancements that we have to say, not gonna let that happen, and turn back the clock, which I think all guys should strongly consider that.
So testosterone replacement, TRT. I work with a high performance sports physician, and he recommends it. I just had a baby. You just had a baby. We're gonna have more. Does that affect
Fertility?
fertility?
Yeah, it can. So, and it did for me. So I was doing testosterone replacement therapy, where that's the process where you're giving yourself testosterone, replacing your natural, which it can for some people lower your natural production. And so for me, when we started trying to have a baby, I got my fertility checked. My fertility was very low, so I had to get off of it immediately. And I switched over to, you can do it to where you take supplementation. There's like N-clomiphene, and there's some supplements that you can take that will naturally boost your testosterone levels and really boost the signaling pathways in the body to produce naturally. So it's part of what we do at Next Health. Again, we look at all the hormone pathways and identify the different areas that it's misfiring, and you get on the supplements that are stimulating the body to produce more. And I was able to boost my levels almost up to where they were with the regular TRT, but also my fertility at the same time. And then after about 8 months, my wife got pregnant, had a baby.
That's great.
I have a beautiful little daughter. Her name is Sky. She's 4 months old. So.
Congratulations. Life-changing.
Yeah.
So you talked about growth. What are the next cities that you guys are opening up? Where are you focused? Where have you signed? What's in the pipeline?
Today we have locations throughout California, in New York, Florida, Miami specifically, in Maui on property at the Four Seasons, Nashville, we have a couple locations, Chicago, Dubai we just opened, and now we are opening in Vegas, in Dallas, in Austin, in Boston, in Vancouver, in Bellevue, Washington, pretty much all the major markets around the U.S. at least, we're opening locations.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And you guys have some pretty high-profile clients that come in and use the services. Can you talk about any of the people that come in, or is that confidential?
Yeah. I mean, we don't talk specifically about the clients, but I mean, a lot of them will share on social media. But I mean, we have some of the biggest actors in the world. We have, big athletes that come in. We have, we just developed our scientific advisory council, which we have Mark Hyman, who's on that, and Dr. Jeffrey Bland, who's the godfather of longevity, and all of these big authorities in experts that have really been speaking about all of this for a long time and have joined Next Health, as Next Health being the platform that distributes it. But we've been very fortunate to attract a lot of incredible people who've also been really great brand advocates for the business, to help get the awareness out there. Because at the end of the day, it's about critical mass, right? We're going against a very ingrained healthcare industry, which is the biggest industry in the world, which is designed to manage disease and illness. Like there's a purpose and a need for it, and it's great if you get sick or you get hit by a car, you need healthcare. Don't come into Next Health, please, right?
Right.
So they're going to help you there, but they're not doing anything to keep you healthy, to extend your lifespan, your health span. What we're doing does that, which minimizes the need of healthcare, which takes away from the dollars that are going into healthcare. And in order for us to really accomplish this, there needs to be a critical mass. It can't just be a small elite group of people that are doing this longevity game. We're trying to bring this out to the world to give as many people access to this as possible. And so, yeah, having people that come in and help support the mission has been a huge contributor to the success of the brand.
Amazing. So business is a long game. Your health, our health is a long game. We're planning to be a really, really long game here. In your entrepreneurial journey and as you've built Next Health, for those just starting out who want to start a business or are currently building their businesses, what advice do you have for them? Things that they're going through, that you went through, that you could share to our viewers?
Yeah. I would say, in the spirit of kind of long game here, that compounding is invincible until it's obvious.
Right.
And people understand compounding when it comes to money, when it comes to finance, but not always with effort.
Right.
And you could, for one day, go to the gym, doesn't mean anything. If you eat healthy for one day, doesn't mean anything.
Right.
If you show up early and put in 12 hours of work one day, doesn't mean anything. If you record podcasts for one day, doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But if you do it for 365 days, it changes everything.
Yep.
And that's where transformation happens. It's not by breakthroughs, it's through boring consistency.
Yep.
Doing it consistently over and over and over, doing the invincible work behind the scenes, especially in today's day and age of social media. Everyone just shows their wins.
Yeah.
No one's showing the quiet grind behind the
The
scenes.
10 years, the
Yeah.
decade that
Right.
went into it.
This year, broadly speaking, people will start seeing Next Health and think it's an overnight success.
Right.
Right? Because all of a sudden you're going to see it all over the place, and we're all over social media, and there's all these celebrities and people talking about it, and we're all these markets. We've been grinding for over a decade.
Over a decade.
And no one sees, but that's fine. That's just the way that it is. But it's, for the newer generation coming up, it definitely is concerning because that mindset is becoming less and less.
Right.
And it's going to be the people that are willing to put in that invincible work over long periods of time and have delayed gratification that are going to really reap the benefits long term. And especially if we're going to live 150 years.
Yes, at a minimum.
At a minimum. At a minimum. Like there's going to be a lot of society that could have trouble. Like I could see big separations in society from the minorities who are able to do that.
Right.
And what their life is going to look like and their world is going to look like versus the masses that are in this instant gratification world.
Kevin, this has been great. Thanks for stopping by. Congratulations on all your success. We're watching, we're cheering for you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And congratulations to you as well. Love seeing all these buildings that you're building all over Brickell. It's incredible.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.